In part 6 of this series, we'll explore 22 of the most common culture and fit interview questions and answers you will be asked during your project manager interview. Each answer can be customized to highlight your unique qualifications and experiences. Before your interview, it's important to research the company and review the job description so you can incorporate key skills relevant to the job role in your answers. Question number 1. Why do you want to be a project manager? Hiring managers ask this to understand your motivation and whether you genuinely connect with the responsibilities of the role. They want to see that your interest goes beyond titles and is rooted in how you think, solve problems, and work with people. A strong answer should clearly connect your natural strengths to what a project manager actually does. It should also show long-term commitment rather than a short-term career decision. I want to be a project manager because I genuinely enjoy bringing structure to complex situations and helping teams move from ideas to results. I've always been someone who naturally looks at the bigger picture while also paying attention to the details that make execution successful. What draws me to this role is the balance between planning, problem solving, and working closely with people to achieve a shared goal. I find it rewarding to take something that feels overwhelming at the start and break it down into clear steps that a team can confidently follow. I also enjoy creating alignment between different groups, especially when priorities or perspectives don't initially match. For me, this role is not just about managing tasks or timelines, it's about creating clarity, removing obstacles, and helping people perform at their best. That's where I feel I add the most value, and it's why I see project management as a long-term career path rather than just a role. Question number 2. Why do you want to work for this company? Hiring managers ask this to see if you've done your research and whether your goals align with the company's direction. They want to know that you're intentional about where you apply and not just sending out applications everywhere. A strong answer should connect your values, skills, and interests to what the company actually does. It should feel specific and genuine rather than generic. I want to work for this company because of how it approaches growth, innovation, and delivering value to its customers. From what I've seen, there's a strong focus on not just completing projects, but making sure those projects have a meaningful impact, and that's something I align with. What stands out to me is the way your teams collaborate across functions to solve problems and continuously improve. That kind of environment is where I perform best because it encourages both structure and adaptability, which are key in project management. I'm also drawn to the company's long-term vision and how it continues to evolve while staying focused on its core values. I see this as an opportunity to contribute to projects that matter while also growing professionally in a setting that values accountability and teamwork. For me, it's important to be part of an organization where the work is meaningful and the culture supports both performance and development. Question number 3. What is your management style? As a project manager, hiring managers ask this to understand how you lead teams and interact with people on a day-to-day basis. They want to know if your style promotes accountability, collaboration, and efficiency. A strong answer should show balance. You're not too hands-off or too controlling. It should also reflect adaptability based on team needs. My management style is structured but adaptable, with a strong focus on clarity, accountability, and support. I believe in setting clear expectations from the beginning so everyone understands their role, priorities, and how their work contributes to the overall project. At the same time, I don't believe in micromanaging. I trust the team to take ownership of their responsibilities while staying available to provide guidance and remove any blockers that may come up. I stay engaged through regular check-ins and open communication, but I give people the space to do their best work. I also adjust my approach depending on the team and the situation. Some teams need more direction, while others perform better with more autonomy. Overall, my goal is to create an environment where the team feels supported, aligned, and confident in what they're working toward, which leads to stronger performance and better outcomes. Question number 4. What are your strengths as a project manager? Hiring managers ask this to see if you understand what makes you effective in the role and whether your strengths align with what they need. They are looking for self-awareness, confidence, and relevance. A strong answer should highlight a few key strengths and support them with how they show up in your work. My key strengths as a project manager are organization, communication, and the ability to stay calm under pressure. I naturally approach projects in a structured way, which helps create clarity for both the team and stakeholders. This makes it easier to manage timelines, priorities, and expectations from the start. Communication is another strength I rely on heavily. I make sure information is clear, consistent, and tailored to the audience so everyone stays aligned without confusion. This reduces misunderstandings and keeps projects moving smoothly. I also stay composed in challenging situations, which helps the team remain focused when things don't go as planned. Instead of reacting, I focus on identifying solutions and keeping progress steady. Together, these strengths allow me to create a stable and productive environment where teams can perform at a high level and deliver strong results. Question number 5. What is your greatest weakness as a project manager? Hiring managers ask this to evaluate your self-awareness and honesty. They want to see that you can recognize areas for improvement without raising red flags about your ability to perform the role. A strong answer should mention a real but controlled weakness, show what you've done to improve, and demonstrate progress. Avoid giving generic answers and focus on something that shows growth and accountability. One area I've worked on is being overly detail-focused in the early stages of a project. In the past, I would spend extra time refining plans to make sure everything was perfectly structured before moving forward. While this helped with clarity, I realized it could sometimes slow down momentum, especially in fast-paced environments where progress and adaptability are just as important. To improve, I've shifted my approach to focus on building a strong but flexible foundation rather than aiming for perfection upfront. I prioritize getting the team aligned quickly and then refining details as the project progresses. This has helped me maintain speed without sacrificing structure. I also make a conscious effort to step back and assess whether additional detail is truly adding value or just delaying progress. Over time, I've found a better balance between planning and execution, which has made me more effective as a project manager. Question number 6. How do you handle stress and pressure in projects? Hiring managers ask this to see how you perform when deadlines are tight and expectations are high. They want to know if you can stay composed, make decisions, and keep the team focused without becoming overwhelmed. A strong answer should show emotional control, structure, and your ability to lead under pressure. I handle stress and pressure by staying focused on structure and priorities rather than reacting emotionally to the situation. When things get intense, I take a step back to identify what truly needs immediate attention and what can wait, which helps prevent unnecessary overwhelm. I also break down larger challenges into smaller, manageable steps so the team can stay focused and maintain momentum. Clear communication becomes even more important during these moments, so I make sure everyone understands priorities and expectations. At the same time, I stay present and supportive for the team, making sure blockers are addressed quickly so they can continue moving forward. For me, pressure is part of the role, and I see it as an opportunity to stay organized, lead with clarity, and ensure the team remains confident and focused. Question number 7. How do you stay organized? As a project manager, hiring managers ask this to understand how you manage multiple moving parts without losing track of details. They want to see that you rely on systems and structure rather than memory. A strong answer should show consistency, tools, and discipline. I stay organized by relying on structured systems rather than trying to manage everything mentally. I use project management tools to track tasks, deadlines, and dependencies, so I always have a clear view of where things stand. I also break projects into smaller components and set clear milestones, which makes it easier to track progress and identify potential issues early. Regular check-ins help me stay aligned with the team and ensure nothing is falling behind. In addition, I make it a habit to document key decisions and updates so there's always a reliable reference point. By maintaining a consistent system and staying disciplined with how I track work, I'm able to manage multiple projects effectively without losing clarity or control. Question number 8. What motivates you as a project manager? Hiring managers ask this to understand what drives your performance and whether it aligns with the demands of the role. They want to see genuine motivation that connects to project management responsibilities. A strong answer should feel personal and tied to results and impact. What motivates me as a project manager is seeing a project move from an initial idea to a successful outcome. I enjoy taking something complex and creating a clear path that allows the team to execute with confidence. I also find motivation in helping teams perform at their best. When everyone is aligned, working efficiently, and overcoming challenges together, it creates a strong sense of progress and accomplishment. Another key motivator for me is delivering real value. It's not just about completing tasks, but about ensuring the final result makes a meaningful impact. That combination of structure, teamwork, and tangible results is what keeps me engaged and motivated in this role. Question number 9. How do you handle feedback or criticism? Hiring managers ask this to evaluate how you respond to input and whether you are open to growth. They want to see that you don't take feedback personally and that you use it to improve. A strong answer should show maturity, openness, and action. I handle feedback by viewing it as an opportunity to improve rather than something negative. When I receive feedback, I focus on understanding the intent behind it and how it can help me perform better. I make sure to listen carefully without becoming defensive, even if the feedback is unexpected. Once I understand it, I reflect on how I can apply it in a practical way. If needed, I follow up to clarify expectations so I can make meaningful improvements rather than guessing. Over time, this approach has helped me grow and become more effective. I believe being open to feedback is essential in project management because it allows you to continuously improve and adapt to different situations. Question number 10. How do you ensure you continue learning and improving? Hiring managers ask this to see if you are committed to growth and staying relevant in a constantly evolving field. They want to know if you actively improve your skills rather than relying only on past experience. A strong answer should show curiosity, consistency, and how you apply what you learn in real situations. I ensure I continue learning by making it a consistent part of how I work rather than something I do occasionally. I regularly reflect on projects I've completed and identify what went well and what could be improved. This helps me turn real experiences into learning opportunities. I also stay updated by exploring new tools, methodologies, and best practices in project management. Whether it's learning about new agile techniques or improving how I manage stakeholder communication, I focus on practical knowledge that I can apply immediately. In addition, I value feedback from both my team and stakeholders because it often highlights areas I may not see myself. I take that input seriously and use it to refine my approach. By combining self-reflection, continuous learning, and real-world application, I'm able to improve consistently and bring more value to every project I manage over time. Question number 11. What does success look like to you as a project manager? Hiring managers ask this to understand how you define success beyond just completing tasks. They want to see if you focus on outcomes, team performance, and long-term impact. A strong answer should show that you look at both results and how those results are achieved. To me, success as a project manager goes beyond simply delivering a project on time and within budget. While those are important, I see success as delivering a result that truly meets the needs of stakeholders and creates meaningful value. I also measure success by how well the team performs throughout the project. If the team is aligned, motivated, and able to collaborate effectively, it usually leads to stronger outcomes. I believe a successful project environment is one where people feel clear about their roles and supported in their work. Another important factor is how smoothly the project runs. If we're able to anticipate risks, manage changes effectively, and avoid unnecessary disruptions, that's a strong indicator of success. Ultimately, success is a combination of strong results, a positive team experience, and delivering something that has a lasting impact. Question number 12. How do you handle working with different personalities? Hiring managers ask this to evaluate your interpersonal skills and ability to manage diverse teams. They want to know if you can adapt your approach and maintain collaboration across different working styles. A strong answer should show flexibility, understanding, and communication. I handle working with different personalities by first recognizing that every team member brings a unique perspective and working style, which can actually strengthen the team when managed well. I take time to understand how each person prefers to communicate and work so I can adapt my approach accordingly. For example, some team members prefer detailed instructions, while others perform better with more autonomy. By adjusting how I interact with them, I can help each person perform at their best. I also focus on creating a respectful and open environment where everyone feels comfortable sharing ideas or concerns. When conflicts arise, I address them early by focusing on the issue rather than the individual. By staying flexible and maintaining clear communication, I'm able to bring different personalities together and keep the team aligned and productive throughout the project. Question number 13. What type of work environment do you thrive in? Hiring managers ask this to see if you will fit into their company culture and team dynamics. They want to understand what conditions help you perform at your best. A strong answer should align your preferences with environments that support collaboration, accountability, and growth. I thrive in a work environment that values clear communication, collaboration, and accountability. I perform best when there is a strong sense of structure, but also enough flexibility to adapt when needed. I enjoy working with teams that are open to sharing ideas and focused on solving problems together rather than working in silos. An environment where feedback is encouraged and continuous improvement is part of the culture helps me stay engaged and motivated. I also appreciate environments where expectations are clear because it allows me to focus on execution without unnecessary confusion. At the same time, I value a level of trust where team members are empowered to take ownership of their work. When those elements are in place, I'm able to contribute effectively, support the team, and consistently deliver strong results. Question number 14. How do you maintain work-life balance in a demanding role? Hiring managers ask this to see how you manage sustainability and avoid burnout in a high-pressure role. They want to know if you can stay productive long-term without sacrificing performance. A strong answer should show discipline, prioritization, and awareness of boundaries while still demonstrating commitment to the role. I maintain work-life balance by staying organized and intentional with how I manage my time and priorities. In a demanding role like project management, I've learned that balance doesn't happen by chance. It requires structure and consistency. I focus on planning my workload effectively so that I'm not constantly reacting to tasks. By prioritizing what's most important and addressing issues early, I can avoid last-minute stress that often leads to longer hours. I also make sure to set realistic expectations with stakeholders and the team so timelines are achievable from the start. At the same time, I recognize the importance of stepping away to recharge. When I'm well rested, I'm more focused, make better decisions, and can support my team more effectively. For me, maintaining balance is about staying disciplined during work hours, while also protecting time outside of work, which ultimately leads to more consistent and sustainable performance. Question number 15. Where do you see yourself in the next 3-5 years? Hiring managers ask this to understand your career direction and whether it aligns with the company's opportunities. They want to see ambition, but also realism and commitment. A strong answer should show growth while staying relevant to the role you're applying for. In the next 3 to 5 years, I see myself growing into a more experienced and well-rounded project manager who can take on increasingly complex and high-impact projects. I want to continue strengthening my ability to lead teams, manage stakeholders, and deliver results in a consistent and efficient way. I'm also interested in expanding my exposure to different types of projects and environments, which will allow me to build a broader perspective and adapt more effectively to new challenges. Over time, I'd like to take on more strategic responsibilities, such as contributing to project planning at a higher level or mentoring other team members. At the same time, I value continuous learning and want to keep improving my skills so I can bring more value to the organization. Overall, I see myself growing within a role like this, contributing at a higher level while continuing to develop both professionally and personally. Question number 16. What makes you different from other project managers? Hiring managers ask this to see how you position yourself and whether you can clearly articulate your unique value. They want to understand what sets you apart beyond standard qualifications. A strong answer should highlight a combination of mindset, skills, and how you approach projects. What makes me different is the way I combine structure with adaptability while staying focused on people as much as process. I don't just focus on timelines and deliverables. I focus on creating clarity for the team so everyone understands what they're working toward and why it matters. I also place a strong emphasis on communication. I make sure that information is clear, consistent, and tailored to the audience, which helps reduce confusion and keeps everyone aligned. This often prevents issues before they even arise. Another key difference is how I approach challenges. I stay calm under pressure and focus on solutions rather than getting caught up in problems, which helps maintain momentum even in difficult situations. Overall, I bring a balanced approach that combines organization, communication, and a strong focus on team performance, which allows me to consistently deliver strong results. Question number 17. How do you align with company values and culture? Hiring managers ask this to see if you've taken the time to understand their organization and whether you naturally fit into how they operate. They want to know if your approach to work, communication, and teamwork matches their environment. A strong answer should connect your personal values to how you work, not just repeat what's on their website. It should also show that you can contribute positively to their culture. I align with company values and culture by focusing on how I work with others, not just what I deliver. I believe that strong results come from clear communication, accountability, and a collaborative mindset, which are values I consistently bring into every project. Before applying, I take time to understand what the company stands for and how teams operate. I look for alignment between those values and how I approach my work. For example, if a company emphasizes teamwork and continuous improvement, I naturally connect with that because I actively encourage open communication and learning within my teams. I also make sure my actions reflect those values, whether it's being transparent with stakeholders, supporting team members, or taking ownership of outcomes. By aligning both my mindset and actions with company values, I'm able to integrate smoothly into the team and contribute in a meaningful and consistent way. Question number 18. How do you build trust with your team? Hiring managers ask this to understand how you create a strong and reliable team environment. They want to know if people can depend on you and feel comfortable working with you. A strong answer should show consistency, communication, and accountability in your actions. I build trust with my team by being consistent, transparent, and reliable in how I communicate and make decisions. I make sure expectations are clear from the start, so there is no confusion about roles, responsibilities, or priorities. I also follow through on commitments because trust is built when people know they can rely on you. If something changes or doesn't go as planned, I communicate openly rather than leaving the team guessing. I take time to listen to team members and understand their perspectives, which helps create an environment where people feel valued and comfortable sharing ideas or concerns. I also make it a point to support the team by removing blockers and giving them the space to do their work effectively. Over time, this consistent and supportive approach creates a strong foundation of trust, which leads to better collaboration, stronger performance, and a more positive team dynamic overall. Question number 19. How do you handle ambiguity or unclear direction? Hiring managers ask this to evaluate how you perform when there isn't a clear roadmap. They want to know if you can create structure, make decisions, and move forward without waiting for perfect clarity. A strong answer should show initiative, problem-solving, and confidence. I handle ambiguity by focusing on creating clarity where it doesn't yet exist. When direction is unclear, I start by gathering as much information as possible from stakeholders and the team to understand the broader objective. From there, I break the situation down into smaller, manageable steps and define an initial plan based on what is known. I don't wait for perfect information because that can slow progress. Instead, I move forward with a structured approach while remaining flexible to adjust as new details emerge. I also maintain regular communication with stakeholders to validate assumptions and ensure alignment as the project evolves. By taking initiative and staying adaptable, I'm able to turn ambiguity into a clear path forward and keep the project progressing without unnecessary delays. Question number 20. How do you stay motivated during long or challenging projects? Hiring managers ask this to see how you maintain consistency and energy over time, especially when projects become demanding or repetitive. They want to know if you can stay focused without losing momentum or motivation. A strong answer should show internal drive, discipline, and how you keep both yourself and the team engaged throughout the project lifecycle. I stay motivated during long or challenging projects by focusing on progress and purpose rather than just the workload. I break the project into smaller milestones so I can see consistent progress, which helps maintain momentum and keeps the work from feeling overwhelming. I also remind myself and the team of the bigger goal and the impact the project will have once completed. That sense of purpose helps maintain focus, especially during more difficult phases. I make it a point to recognize small wins along the way, which helps keep morale high and reinforces progress. When challenges arise, I shift my mindset toward problem solving rather than frustration. I see obstacles as part of the process, not something that slows me down. By staying focused on both progress and purpose, I'm able to maintain motivation and help the team stay engaged from start to finish. Question number 21. How do you contribute to a positive team culture? Hiring managers ask this to understand how you influence the work environment and team dynamics. They want to know if you actively contribute to a collaborative and supportive culture. A strong answer should show intentional actions, not just general statements. I contribute to a positive team culture by creating an environment where communication is open, respectful, and focused on collaboration. I make it a priority to ensure everyone feels heard and comfortable sharing their ideas or concerns without hesitation. I also lead by example by staying consistent in my approach, whether it's how I communicate, handle challenges, or support the team. I recognize and acknowledge contributions, which helps build confidence and keeps morale strong. When issues arise, I address them early and constructively so they don't negatively impact the team dynamic. I focus on solutions rather than blame, which helps maintain a positive atmosphere. By being intentional about how I interact with the team, I'm able to create a culture where people feel supported, engaged, and motivated to perform at their best. And finally, here's the last project manager interview question based on culture and fit. Question number 22. How do you handle situations where you disagree with leadership? Hiring managers ask this to see how you handle upward communication and whether you can challenge ideas professionally. They want to know if you can express your perspective without creating conflict. A strong answer should show respect, confidence, and alignment with business goals. When I disagree with leadership, I approach the situation with respect and a focus on understanding their perspective first. I believe it's important to fully understand the reasoning behind a decision before offering an alternative viewpoint. Once I have that understanding, I share my perspective clearly and professionally, using data or examples to support my reasoning. I focus on how my suggestion aligns with project goals or potential risks rather than presenting it as a personal opinion. If leadership decides to move forward with their approach, I fully support the decision and ensure the team stays aligned. At the same time, I remain proactive in monitoring outcomes so I can provide feedback if needed. By handling disagreements with professionalism and a focus on outcomes, I'm able to contribute valuable input while maintaining strong working relationships. If you want to learn more on how to land jobs and reach your career goals, don't forget to hit that subscribe and bell notification button to get new videos every single week. Also, don't forget to hit that like button because that motivates me to keep doing what I do. Stay safe, keep smiling, and good luck.